Psychiatry is the last field today that uses only symptoms to diagnose disorders. This is a trial and error treatment system in which patients are instructed to try various medications, therapies, and treatments over and over again until they finally find the right fit. But oftentimes, they never find the right fit. Patients are not provided with a system that is conducive to personalized treatment. The system is plainly not made for everybody. But what if we move beyond one-size-fits-all treatment? How can we bridge the gap between a patient's unique brain makeup and their subjective reality in order to better understand their needs? How can we bring in teams of interdisciplinary professionals, including physicians, social workers, creative arts therapists, neuroscientists, and others, in order to develop a cohesive and custom-tailored treatment plan? What if physicians were given the time to get to know their patients through the lens of cultural humility, unique neurobiological makeup, and a person-first approach? How much could we improve the quality of people's lives? And how many lives could we save from the one-size-fits-all trial and error treatment system?
The stigma surrounding mental or psychiatric disorders promotes the idea that mental illness is all in your head. And each person can simply find quick fixes to make themselves feel better. This stigma affects people who have gone through the trial and error treatment system and prevents many more from seeking treatment in the first place. But each person's brain constructs their inner and outer worlds in their head. And this is exactly where psychiatry needs to do a better job of looking inside the unique life experiences, brain chemistry, and neural wiring of each patient. So let us first explore the brain and the billions of connections that give rise to our conscious experience. Behind me is Self-Reflected, a work of art by neuroscientists Dr. Greg Dunn and Dr. Brian Edwards that reflects what is happening in your minds as you see this work of art. This is the mind as it arises from the billions of connections amongst the billions of our nerve cells or neurons that make up your brain. These neural connections give rise to neural networks, and information travels along these networks to construct your thoughts, your motivations, your emotions, and your experiences. Our own brains provide us with a good example of how the medical system could work. Providers across disciplines exchanging information to create the cohesive network of a treatment team. From our brains to our societies, networks are essential to the human experience. How can we learn from them?
Current technology allows us to see how changes in our brain can be linked to mental illness on the level of both neurons and networks. For example, let's examine the neuron. Neurons form connections called synapses. Neuronal dendrites, which integrate information from many surrounding neurons, develop dendritic spines that help synapses become stronger. Depression is often accompanied by a loss of dendritic spines, which alters synapses, circuits, brain rhythms, and ultimately the networks that underlie our psychology. Next, notice what will change in the neural networks between control patients and patients with major depressive disorder. You will see the first network, the control, gradually morphing into the representation of that same network in depression, and these changes will be mirrored through sound. Next, you'll see changes in functional connectivity, the efficiency of connections between brain regions at rest, reflected in two scans, one with and without depression. From neuron to network to experience, depression is linked with real physiological changes in the brain.
As we've seen, mental illness is not a matter of personal responsibility, but a complex combination of responses to adversity and neurophysiological changes. Depression and the person who has it are not the same. They may interact, but they will never be one. And when a person loses their life to depression, this is the most glaring example of how the trial and error treatment system has failed. Depression can look different for each person who has it, depending on who they are and how the system sees them. This can be affected by stigma or shame, socioeconomic status, internal self-image, and countless other factors. You cannot standardize treatment.